letting us know.
Oh, thank you for. Okay, so Cecilia, thank you. Thank you. Can you hear now? Question mark. Wow, that's good information. We just realized that you had no listening skills available on the show
The whole time?
the whole time.
Oh, then this is a remake next Monday.
Well, no, we're gonna just go back through it for a second because we need to get people to hear what's happening. Hopefully, as a matter of fact, let me go and check this out. I should have listened to it first myself. What a schmo. Let's see. Can we hear us live now? Hello, Cecilia, tell me. No, she cannot hear. Wow. Yes, she can hear. Okay, we are now. We can hear. You can hear us on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much, Cecilia. Thank you. All right. Finally, we had technical difficulty. What we're going to say. So let's go back to the beginning. What we were talking about, Mike. Okay. Let's give a quick rundown. It's important. Intro to crypto. Michael Cristoforo, David Lamel here. If you're watching and listening, my apologies on the mistake in the script over here with the technology. Still learning everything as day by day goes by. So what we talked about is Bitcoin. Bitcoin has hit $103,000. A month ago, it was $76,000. A 25% increase at least on Bitcoin from 1 month ago.
And you didn't need to buy the whole thing. You could have bought a Satoshi, which is a very small 1/1000th of a Bitcoin. So you don't have to spend. Maybe it's even 1/1,000,000th. I could be wrong. It could be 1/1,000,000th. So pennies.
As a matter of fact, and just so you guys understand what Michael's saying is that when you're buying crypto or digital assets, you can put in whatever you have. Let's say you have $5, and let's just say it's worth 100,000. You can get a piece of it. You don't have to buy the whole coin. There are a lot of coins you can afford to buy the whole coin, and there's some really great coins out there to pick up. In Bitcoin, which is the godfather of godfather of crypto, right? Which came out 12 years ago. Okay, we had 30 billion on the volume of the exchange happening right now on just Bitcoin in the last 24 hours. Unbelievable. Yeah. So you see Bitcoin from 76,000 1 month ago to 103,000. I will put money now. It will break the record of 109. I'm going to say within a couple of weeks, it's going to keep going. That's my guess. All Remember, right. This is not financial advice. You need to do your research on crypto and digital assets. We are here to help and teach you about what's going on so you can learn to get involved and ask questions. If you have questions, put them out there on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere you're watching, TikTok, etc. Give us the questions. Let us get back to you. Like it. If you like the show you're watching, hit a like, please. Smash it. Be involved in this show. It's important to us. Going to XRP, one of our top coins we talk about all the time, which is very important to look at. So XRP a month ago was $1.78. Today it's $2.35. And I'm going to make a prediction that by the end of next week, you're at $2.50. That's a prediction for me. That's my thoughts and feelings on that one there. You have 5.13 billion in the last 24 hours being purchased. It's an amazing that's happening crypto. You mentioned before something very important. We were talking about
percentage.
Percentage, yes.
Yeah, a month ago we could have bought that token. We talked about it on air within a month ago. It was dollars. The low was $1.78, $1.85. We were hovering back and forth. Now it's at $2.35. You would have made 25% on your money in 1 month.
Now, one more thing to understand: you're buying this with the intention of holding it. Do not freak out. The crypto market is very volatile. You need to understand that it's very volatile. You're investing in the future. I say 10 years time, things are completely different. Michael will say to you within a couple of years, if not less, things are going to be way different.
Yeah.
And I just like to think long-term, but it's really happening right before your eyes. And you're not listening to this or hearing about this on the news. So when you don't hear about the news, you're thinking, was it really true? Is it really happening? Most of the things that happen on the news, when you hear about it, typically is from something that happened 6 months ago. They're 6 months behind most real estate, 6 months behind. Interest rates, what's happening in the market, 6 months behind. And that's why most of the time buyers are so confused. I'm a real estate agent. I sell real estate for a living. Michael's a mortgage broker, and one heck of a good mortgage broker at that.
Thank you, Dave.
For a living. So we're doing this to help educate you to learn about crypto, digital assets, so you can get involved and learn and do your research. There's lots of places to do research, and we're here to help you out with that. We talked about the. I'm going back into my phone
Yeah,
for a
go ahead.
second.
Yeah.
To pull some information over here. Again, so happy that Cecilia, thank you so much again for getting into what you talked about before, getting us to know where we had screwed up. Hold on one second.
Arizona.
I'm trying to go back to where I was before. Let's see. Here we go. Very important to know. So, the regulatory institutional developments. The United States embraces crypto reserves. Do you know what that means? The United States is embracing the crypto reserves. Arizona and New Hampshire have enacted laws permitting state involvement with cryptocurrencies.
Exactly.
Who would have thought that was going to happen 2 years ago or 3 or 4 years ago?
None of us.
They were against it. They were fighting it. Arizona's legislation allows the state to maintain a reserve of unclaimed cryptocurrency property, while New Hampshire's law permits officials to invest up to 5% of public funds in major cryptocurrencies and precious metals.
And that's before I was just saying how unbelievably awesome that is and what a big change we're in the process of going through. I mean, that is exactly what our federal government is doing as well. They're in the process of setting up a reserve outside of the US dollar that's going to be in cryptocurrencies.
And we also mentioned before, this is important to know, that all the banks are getting involved now in the cryptocurrency. They're going to switch over. And it's already happening.
Oh, yeah. By November of this year, it has to all be switched over for all the banks.
It's going to happen to the XRP ledger. It's going to be the blockchain, and it's going to get
we don't know that XRP is going to be the blockchain, but ISO 20022 is going to be the messaging standard that all the banks have to use.
And now, and what do they use now? This antiquated process called
a SWIFT.
SWIFT
for moving money.
SWIFT, which takes days and hours and costs a lot of money for the banks to use, is going to, in my opinion, and a lot of people, right, is going to switch to the XRP ledger using the Ripple blockchain. Am I saying correctly? Excellent.
The
XRP ledger, okay, allowing banks, financial institutions, credit card companies to process these things in seconds and for pennies.
It's not going to be just one, though, probably. Just for the record, the XRP ledger will be one, but there will be other things as well that will also be that are already ISO compliant and so forth. So I would expect you'll see the XLM will be another one that will also be another one that will be
XDC.
Yep, absolutely. That could be one of them. Algorand could be another one. Algorand's working a lot with a lot of central banks and so forth, setting things up. So there's a lot of them, but they're all the blue chip ones. Like we talk about, if you just Google ISO 20022, that's going to give you a really good indication. If you want to do a little bit of research on it, that's where I would start.
Crypto hedge funds gain. Crypto hedge funds have reported gains capitalizing on the recent market volatility and their rally assets like Bitcoin and Solana. Again, I'm reading some very important information it's right here. It's live. It's happening as we're speaking about it. So getting to know more about that. And the biggest thing to share with you, if you haven't known already, if you don't know about, is the SEC has settled the case with Ripple, okay, which is just the biggest thing that can happen in the crypto industry.
This has been going on since December of 2020.
Okay.
I think it was December 21st or December 22nd.
Is that 4 years plus?
5 years. I believe.
I mean, that's just pretty wild stuff.
Right. Or maybe it is 4.5 years.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But the point is that it's major stuff over here. You got to start paying attention. You got to watch. You got to listen.
They spent over $125 million to fight the SEC for this. Ripple spent about $125 million to fight for all crypto, basically. So they
opened the door.
They opened the door.
They opened 100%. The door. Ripple Labs has agreed to a $50 million settlement with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, concluding a legal battle that began in December 2020. Good stuff, by the way. Let's see over here.
And the reason why they lost, without you even have to read it, is because they sold some XRP to institutions and promised probably some kind of returns or something. But that was all really early days back in 2012 or before. And that's no longer the case. All the XRP that's being sold today, to any of us is not an issue. And even still, with that lawsuit, the way that went through, they have to now sell through an exchange. And I think Uphold's doing a lot of that.
Uphold's
behind the
great.
scenes
We're going to get you more information on Uphold and different kind of accounts. As a matter of fact, maybe next week we
Next
can do
week
that.
sounds good.
Put some
Caleb and Brown.
Caleb,
Uphold, all that
we'll
stuff,
talk about that kind of stuff. Following announcement of XRP, the price experiences notable increase, as we just talked about. We're up at $2.35 per coin as of maybe an hour ago. We were at the increase. I think it's about 10% at least in the day or something like that. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You can't see these kind of gains on any other platform of investment.
We might make 10 today and might lose 8 tomorrow, and then might make 3. It's very volatile.
Very volatile.
We know it, but it's recognized this is for a long-term hold. This is not short-term.
Right. You're buying for the long term to invest in this whole process of the cryptocurrency. Like the stock market, you buy for the future. You don't buy for today. You don't have a heart attack every time the market changes, shifts because of something that happens, that someone gets upset about something, yada, yada, yada. This is a long-term. I'm going to say 10-year. Mike says 2-year. Is that fair? Mike, you see, you 6 months. What?
Yeah, it could be a lot faster than 2 or 3 years, but we'll wait and see.
Yes, we will wait and see.
But back to that lawsuit real quick.
Yes.
I just want to add one thing. One of the badges of honor that I really enjoyed with the Ripple lawsuit with the SEC is usually when the SEC was suing someone in the background over the years, the reason why is because they were maybe handcuffing them. So they had a lawsuit against Apple. Where is Apple today versus where the lawsuit was then? That was a badge of honor.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah, thank you. Same thing with Tesla. Where was Tesla when the lawsuit was going versus where is it today? We're going to probably look back someday and say, where was XRP during the lawsuit versus where it is today? And eventually when Ripple goes public, if they go public, we'll probably be saying the same thing about their stock.
Can you touch for a moment before we go over here about stablecoin? That each one of these banks is looking to get a stablecoin, a different. Can you give a little bit about stablecoins, please?
Sure. I mean, basically,
what a stablecoin is.
Stablecoin is basically a coin that's tied to the actual dollar. So at least in this country, in Japan, it will be tied to the yen, and so everybody's going to have their own stablecoins in the country that they're in. And they're saying that a lot of these stablecoins will not be interchangeable with other stable coins necessarily. Like every bank is going to have their own stable coins. So it's going to be used maybe to move the currency within their own bank. We don't know how it's all going to work out, but everybody's going to have their own stable coin. There will be some that will be used and adopted that will be the big boys that will be running across the world, so to speak. I can expect that, but there's also going to be ones that are going to be individualized to the actual entity.
It's funny. I just want to pull up that quickly. I said I put what countries are using cryptocurrency, and it's very interesting to read over here the different kind of things. You need to do your research. This is pretty wild. Countries with a high crypto adoption. Okay, we have these countries of broad usage of investment payments and remittance: Nigeria, Vietnam, Philippines, India, Ukraine. Countries embracing cryptocurrency. Ready? El Salvador, United Arab Emirates, Switzerland, Singapore, Portugal. Countries with central bank digital currency CBDC programs. Ready for this?
Back to it real quick. The Switzerland is amazing to me because Switzerland is like the banking capital of the world.
Right.
And there it is. Switzerland is adopting it. So that tells you a lot right there.
Countries with central bank digital currency CBDC programs. Ready for this? You have China, the Bahamas, Nigeria. Countries
and we don't have it. According to Donald Trump, not to get political in any way, We will not have one in America, nor do I personally, as much as I embrace crypto, I do not want to see central bank digital currencies in America. We can have crypto and use crypto rails, but we don't want the central bank digital currency. What's the difference?
Tell us.
Central bank digital currency, it means, especially who's adopted it. First one on the list is China. So China, they give everybody a score, based on how you score, based on, what kind of car you drive and all these things. They score you and they give you benefits. So they can literally shut off the spigot for somebody on a CBDC if you have a bad score. So those are not the kind of things we want to do. We want the crypto rails for efficiency, but we don't want a government to run our central bank currency to be able to shut down your bank like they were doing even in Canada with the truckers. When the trucker strike was going on a couple of years ago and the truckers were up there, people were actually, because the banks in Canada were shutting down some of these people that were protesting. That's why we don't want to go down that road. That's not what we want.
Countries with strict or hostile stance, sovereign governments have banned or restricted, which is interesting over here. All right, so that's quite a bit of information over here.
Yeah.
All right, so it's your intro to crypto. Hopefully you got a chance to listen after we had the goof up with the unable to hear. Thank you, Cecilia, for pointing that out to us. We were able to fix that up. And in addition to, we hope you're learning. We hope you're enjoying. Please smash it, hit like. Please share it with your friends and family. I'm going to try to edit the video so we can take out the part where we didn't have any voice. In the meantime, share, like it, comment, ask questions. We're here for you. We appreciate being here for you. We will see you Monday on our next Intro to Crypto podcast.
Sounds good.
Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy the beautiful weather coming because it's supposed to get nice and warm and sunny.
Amen.
Talk to you soon. All right, let me do this first.